Christmas time is here. Everybody knows there's not a better time of year. Hear that sleigh, Santa's on his way. Hip hip hooray for Christmas vacation.
They're all Randy's lines.
So, Jeremiah, who came up with the scene where Clark has the full-on rant about his boss to his boss?
Again, that was written. You know what I mean? That was written. It was staged in a very complicated way because there was pages of dialogue. You know, and I remember some of the actors were having cue cards like pinned to their heads or holding them because he's like, it was a very, very fun scene to do. Like everyone, it was the whole cast was there, and he was having a blast, and everyone was just trying not to laugh on camera. You know, it was a fun. It was just so many words, and I try to just let it play, and super fun.
Definitely.
What was the actress of Aunt Bethany's character? What was she like to work with?
Make Estelle. Make Estelle is a legend in Hollywood. I don't know if you know this, but she was the voice of Betty Boop. Now, just, you know, for those who are very young, like yourselves, just Google Betty Boop.
Yeah, I've heard the name. Yeah,
I mean, that's sort of like, you know, massive pop culture icon. And Bill Hickey, who plays her husband, is a legendary, died. Both of them are dead now. Bill is like one of the most legendary dramatic actors, teachers in New York. Like legendary acting teacher.
That's really cool. It's really awesome that you were able to get a Hollywood icon onto it to play Bethany.
What about, E.G. Marshall? You know what I mean? E.G. Marshall, totally, all the actors, all those guys, they were all very, very experienced dramatic actors, which is what I wanted. And I told them, listen, you know, this is my first movie, so I don't want to pretend that I know anything. If I'm screwing up here, just come over to me and, you know, tell me how those Hollywood legendary directors handled it, right? But they were so good. They were very supportive, and I had a fun time with them. Loved all of them.
Were you at the scene where Clark Griswold interacts with Frank Shirley, his boss?
What do you mean?
What I mean is, were you on set when that scene was filmed?
Well, I was the director of the movie. I'm on set for every scene.
Okay, got it. What was Brian?
I'm just curious why I would not be on set for a scene in my movie. Does that ever come up?
I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
What was Brian Doyle Murray like to work with?
Brian, he was great. He's funny.
A classic actor. It sounds like the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, Brian was like, you know, push play. Whatever you want, just tell him what you want. He's just going to hit it out of the park.
Did he give you a Jelly of the Month Club membership afterwards?
No, I didn't want one of those.
Fire away, Christina. Fire away,
Sure.
Christina.
Sure. Now, I know with there's quite a few National Lampoon, you know, movies, Christmas Vacation, Vegas Vacation, and so forth. Now, is it just as part of the screenplay and the writer's job that they kind of add in other characters, you know, from movie to movie, like Aunt Bethany's character, or, you know, was that something that you wanted to have specifically for Christmas Vacation?
Again, I'm not going to comment on the other movies because I haven't seen them, believe it or not. Didn't want to see them before because I didn't want the influence of them. I wanted to make my movie as a standalone. I would, you know, in the normal development process, it's possible that John and I discussed adding this or that. and he would like, he was such a, within an hour, he would have written 10 pages of characterization. But, on a big studio movie, and it was at that time, a Christmas movie, they were entrusting that to, a very, very successful writer and a first-time director. You got to think the script was pretty baked in. And I didn't want to unwind it because that was what I read and responded to. It may have gotten refined and there's things that are different. And I have an early version, in my library that's, earlier with different kinds of approaches, but it's the same movie. And it's John's dialogue and his dynamic and his characters. So, as a director, I just wanted to do them well.
Pretty cool. How long did it take for the movie to be shot?
I think it was about 65 days, something like that, as I recall.
And how long was it before it was released?
Oh, super fast. Everything, it was like, I think I started formal production, pre-production in January, and it was released in November. Around Thanksgiving. It was very, very fast. I shot it over the summer. I shot it over the spring. I'm trying to think here. We did first snow. We went to Colorado to get the real snow. Then I came back. I don't remember, it was probably the end of the winter, because I remember everyone was standing around shorts outside in the fake snow of Warner Brothers. So I don't remember, but it was probably the summer and spring, summer. That makes sense. And then maybe 16 weeks of post and boom, into the theaters. It was very fast.
Really cool. Was it shot in Colorado partly, or as the main?
Yeah, the first week and a half, I think we were all in Colorado for the driving under the truck scene, the opening sequences of the sledding. A lot of the sledding scenes were done there. Those things, the mountain where he takes off, trudging through the snow to find the tree, those things were done there.
So what was the idea behind him forgetting the saw and then where they're stuck under the truck? Just comedic bits? Yeah,
no thinking at all. Just funny. That's all. Never cut funny. Learn that.
So with it being filmed in the spring, in summer season, was it really, blistering cold, the scenes that were in the cold attic?
Yeah, they were cold. Yeah, no, it was cold. Yeah. We had a lot of snow when we did that. I mean, we were high elevation. We were in Breckenridge, probably around 10, 11,000 feet.
So it was made as realistic as possible.
Yes, those scenes were, yeah.
That's awesome. What was the reception like when it hit theaters?
Well, I think people liked it. It was #1 for like 4 weeks, so I guess that's a good thing.
Did you imagine it would become a cult classic when it was released on VHS and DVD?
I don't. This sounds weird, but I mean, I don't really think like that. I'm not that, for me, I just don't, I think it's unhealthy to attach that kind of value of success or failure to any given project. For me, the process is interesting. Did I do my best? Did it turn out okay? Did it turn out the way I wanted it to? Doesn't always,
Yeah.
What was it like filming the scene of the national anthem, knowing that it was closing out the movie story?
Interesting, because I'd always felt that scene went on too long, maybe a minute too long, and it did. And in the final mix, after the studio locked it, I just had a notion to lift a whole minute out of it at the last minute, and I phoned John and I said, I really want to do this, and I told him what I was going to do it, and he said, do it. It's okay. I'll protect you. And I phoned the head of the studio set, and they said, no, we love the cut. You don't have to do anything. I said, it'll make the ending land better. No, don't do it. I said, well, John wants it. Okay. It was my idea. John was like, you, I did do it, right? And I think it really helped the end. It just went on and on and on. There was like so many different endings, and it's okay.
Yeah. What did you do after the movie, film wise, and all that?
I went to Australia and did commercials, I think.
That's pretty cool. So that's all you've done since then is just commercials, or have you also done films?
I've made Benny and June after that, and I did Diabolique, and I made a bunch of movies. Lots of TV shows now.
Fire away, Christina.
Sure. So how do you think your personal story and your journey through directing all of these experiences, how do you think your story can impact others and impact the world?
God, beats me. Listen, I think that, personally, I like the process of creativity. And so I think if people get into media, whatever it is, with one goal, which is I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be famous, they may or may not achieve it, but there will be no satisfaction in it, because they will always know, without the really hard work, the technical work, the really drilling down about, behavior and art and aesthetics and all of those things, and music, and devote hours and hours and hours in reading, something people seem to have forgotten to do for the most part, for other points of view, all of that stuff, and have a story to tell. If you could put that together creatively, and you're lucky enough to be given the reins of moviedom to play with, or TVdom now, which is even more exciting, then, you're going to have a very long and satisfying career. I mean, I've been doing this that was my first movie, but I've been doing commercials before that. So when's that? I mean, 85 to 2022. I mean, I just finished a television series. Well, I didn't, because it's Christmas now, right? And it's on the air, right? On Sci-Fi. So catch up on it, or it could be on Hulu now because it's dropping on Hulu. But we just did 10 episodes of a television series, which we love, and it's very funny, and it's very dark, and it's very quirky, and it's very visual, and we'll see what comes next. So there's that.
Can you tell us the name of the show that you just finished working on? Oh,
the show. Well, it's no secret because it's on the air October 5th. Oh, and so it is called Reginald the Vampire, and it's on Sci-Fi.
That's really incredible. We'll keep our eyes out for it.
Well, it'll come finding you, I tell you.
Yeah, so that's all we have for now, but we thank you for coming on to share your journey.
Well, you're very, very welcome. You're very sweet. And thank you for the appreciation. It's always nice to have some smoke blown up for a while. But know that, I'm happy to leave this movie to the world, right? It as much belongs to everyone as it does to me. And, I like that feeling. Yeah,
and definitely smoke being blown up, like you said. It'll happen if within several yards if someone drops their cigar.
Well, there you go. Bye.
All right, that's all we have, but we thank you for coming on, and thanks, Christina, for doing this.
Thank you for having me. This was a great interview. I really enjoyed it.
Yep,
thank you, Jeremiah.
And let's thank Marlena Martin for the work she does with Woman of Achievement that led to the connection.
Definitely.
Hands up. Keep going, especially now. We need you.
So we'll see you soon.
here. Everybody knows there's not a better time of year. Hear that sleigh, Santa's on his way. Hip hip hooray for Christmas vacation.